Hey guys, welcome back to Sinfully Scented. Today I am making Beach Bum Soap, which is an ocean-inspired soap scented with sea salt blossom fragrance oil from the Flaming Candle. It's described as aquatic florals and sea moss mixed with dewy green notes on a base of wood and musk. And it's a very light fragrance. I actually really like this one. It did accelerate my trace a little bit, and you'll see that a little bit further on, but let's go ahead and get into the soap making. As usual, I'm starting off by blending my lye solution in with my oils, and don't forget to check the description box below for the exact recipe that I am using today, as well as links to any colorants or fragrances that I used in this soap. I split off a portion of my batter into 2 cups, which I colored with the gold and the copper penny mica. And the gold thickened up a little bit when I added the fragrance, but the copper penny didn't thicken up quite so much. So I ended up pouring these two into a cup side by side and then swirling them together for an in the pot swirl, which helped me to get a little bit more of a realistic sand color. I then poured my sand-colored soap batter into the bottom of my mold, and the next step that I did was I took my spoon and kind of shifted the soap over onto one side, and that's because I didn't want this to be a straight layer. I really wanted this to have some curves and texture to it whenever I cut the finished bar, so that it looked as realistic as possible. I ended up actually propping the soap mold up on a towel, which helped to get the angle that I wanted, as I wanted most of the soap, the sand colored portion of the soap, to be on one side of the mold. Once the sand portion was done, I started working on the rest of the soap, which was a gradient design, and I started with the first layer, which had mostly white and just a little bit of blue colorant. This one did thicken up a good bit because of the titanium dioxide, but the rest of the layers were pretty easy to work with. So with each layer, I added a little bit less white and a little bit more color, and I didn't have to wait very long to pour each layer because the fragrance oil thickened up the soap well enough that I could just work continuously with my different layers. I made these gold seashells with some melt and pour soap and a seashell mold, and I just marked my mold with where I was going to be cutting the soap so I knew where I could place each seashell so it didn't really get cut through whenever I cut the final soap. I waited a little bit for the soap to set up, and then I took a spoon and gave the top a little bit of a wave texture. And then I placed my seashells on top of the soap with my markings so that I knew where to put each one. And then I set this aside to firm up for about 24 hours before I cut it the next day. And here we are back for the cut. The fragrance oil did discolor ever so slightly. You can kind of see that yellowy kind of look on top, but it's not bad at all. I am so happy with how this one turned out. It does really remind me of a snapshot of like looking at the ocean floor. It's got that gorgeous little seashell on top, so I think this one turned out just perfect, and I am so thrilled to have made this soap. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys again next week.